but Yahweh wrapped me in light. Turn my morning to dancing overnight. I ain't gotta fight with shadows. The victory's already mine. Every chain he broke with fire. I'm singing praises every time. Hands high, heart wide open. Breath of life, I'm chosen. Spirit moving, waters flowing. Yeshua's love keeps showing. I just lift my voice, yeah, hear me loud. Singing hallelujah, break these walls down. Yeshua, you restore my soul. I'm alive, and I'm whole. I just lift my voice, yeah, hear me loud. Singing hallelujah, shake this whole ground. Yeshua, you redeem my soul. I'm alive, I'm home. Dance through the fire, and I don't even smell like smoke. Every tear was a prayer. Now my cup overflow. I ain't bitter, I'm better. Mercy runs through my veins. All the battles made me stronger. I rejoice in his name. Hands high, heart wide open. Breath of life, I'm chosen. Spirit moving, waters flowing. Yeshua's love keeps showing. I just lift my voice, y'all hear me loud. Singing hallelujah, break these walls down. Yeshua, you restore my soul. I'm alive, and I'm whole. I just lift my voice, y'all hear me loud. Singing hallelujah, shake this whole ground. Yeshua, you redeem my soul. I'm alive, I'm whole. Song on my lips, joy in my chest. Your love's the armor, my spirit's at rest. Valleys don't scare me, mountains can't hide. Your presence goes with me forever, my God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Forever singing hallelujah. Yeshua, you redeem my soul. I'm alive, I'm whole.
Open your eyes. They built a kingdom on lies. Oh, seeing everything. Yeshua speaking in Christ. Step in the night where the lost sheep hide. Truth in my grip, no compromise. They sell comfort, but it's chains in disguise. I spit scripture like bullets. Open your eyes. Understand the pain, the hatred, the greed. Knowledge is fire, but love is the seed. I walk through the system, it trembles, it shakes. Every blind corner, Yahweh awakens, remakes. They fear what they don't understand. I rise in the storm, take destiny in hand. No silence, no fear, no shadow too deep. Every lie you've been told, I sow it, I reap. Eyes open, hearts open, no chains in our mind. Yeshua speaking. Leave the blind behind. Understand the love. Break the cycle, ignite. We rise from the ashes, burning through night. They call it rebellion, I call it awake. Every truth that I spit, every move that I make, they teach fear in the schools, poison in books. I turn knowledge to power, I'm rewriting the looks. See the blood in the streets, see the lies in the pulpit. Yeah, I whisper in wisdom, I pull it, I summon it. No surrender, no silence, no faith in the weak. The meek inherit nothing, the strong rise and speak. Understand the perish love without vision is chains. They profit in darkness, we profit in flames. Yahshua's the compass, Yahweh the spark. I'm light in the void, I'm voice in the dark. Eyes open, hearts open, no chains in our minds. Yahshua speaking, leave the blind behind. Understand the love, break the cycle, ignite. We rise from the ashes, burning through night. Every question unanswered, every truth denied. Yahweh hold me steady, Yahshua by my side. The sheep will awaken, the blind will see. Knowledge is fire, and knowledge sets free.
All right. Let me go ahead and turn this down. Getting a bit of back feed. Hopefully not too much back feed, but welcome in, y'all. Welcome back to the Warsheep Podcast, man. Listen, we're about to dive into some serious topics here, so I hope y'all are ready, man. I see y'all in the building already. I really appreciate you guys' patience today. Listen, we have quite a bit of information that has been presented to us. I'm trying to tell you now, y'all, that when it comes to the level of deception and control that they want to have over your mind, I want you guys to know something very clear, y'all, that when people are fighting for control over your mind, over your autonomy, that you have to understand that they want to manipulate you in such a way that people like myself, people like Pastor Rufus from, the Servants of Yah, and other individuals like Elder Jim McClain, these individuals that they levy and launch attacks against, you got to know the reason why they're attacking us, the reason why they're deciding to aim and to fire our direction is because we're giving you a message to look to Yeshua, a message to look within, a message to understand the level of submission it requires for somebody who may be, I guess, in a position of leadership of authority. What level should you submit? What level does it take? We're telling you to move in autonomy, to use your strength and your wisdom to move in the most wise ways that you possibly can. That would associate you with, strength, with power, with love, with unity, with light. The only way we can do so is if we were to shed light on some of the darkest parts, the corners, the crevices, the things that honestly you may not like. There's ways we got to approach this thing, and we're going to approach it in a very pragmatic way, a way that really makes sense. And individuals who want to have full control over your autonomy, right? The very thing that the Most High has granted to you upon creation, the thing that made you perfect, right? In his sight, is that you had an ability to choose. When they want to discredit the people who are telling you, use your autonomy, use your spiritual gifts, use your spiritual power and authority. When they want to attack the people who speak in that message, you got to know that these people are operating like scribes and Pharisees. They're operating like individuals who want full control. A lot of you have seen the movie The Book of Eli with Denzel Washington. A lot of you have seen that book, that movie. In that movie, the opposition, the opposing force, they wanted to acquire the Bible that Eli moved around with. They waged war against Eli in this movie, okay? And I'm using this as an example because it is symbolic of reality. And the reason why they cut down and they tore down and they tore apart in order to get this particular book is because they wanted to control the minds of the people. They told you plainly that that was a tool, a weapon that has been weaponized, not only against you and I, but weaponized against individuals who are just seeking the Father with their whole heart. They're using this tool to manipulate your mind. We're going to shed more light on that here today because we know here at the Warsheep Podcast, we enjoy light because light creates understanding. Understanding creates love. Love creates patience, and that patience will create unity. So we need to hit all steps in order to get to the point of unity. Let's get unified in the spirit, y'all.
Sheep preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore. If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf violent? He wasn't teaching hate. He was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them. Do whatever you have to do to stop them. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back. So they said, no, he's teaching hate. He's violent.
Let's go ahead and get into this thing, man. Listen, when we're dealing with some of these things, y'all, you know, I'm going to go ahead and do my shout outs to my peeps that's been in the building. I appreciate everybody who's shown up here on time today. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. Listen, we got scriptures to go over. We got video footage to go over, and we just got a lot to cover. Okay, y'all. So y'all just bear with me. Let's go on for this ride. Like I said, I'm a little late today. I know that I typically start at 5, but we had a workshop today, a wealth building workshop that went absolutely fantastic. Shout out to the team that was developing this workshop. Shout out to Erica. Shout out to China. Shout out to these individuals. My brother over at Conversations of the Conscious and Preeminence Financial. Ra, my brother, my blood brother. Shout out to him as well. We just recently hosted a workshop that helped people with understanding of real estate, right, and understanding how to capitalize and to grow, how to build true wealth in that space. Brought in and the two experts who developed the actual workshop. Gave some real gems, y'all. So we were looking to build our community up, despite what some may say. Not any of these individuals who talk on the other side. Let me name a few individuals here just to start. Not Dowell, Pastor Dowell, not Randy, Pookie. You understand? Not any of these individuals, Fat Boy, Ellis. None of these individuals are trying to pour back into the people and help them develop and grow wealth, help them be able to build a financial tool that'll let them avoid having to take a mark of the beast. This is what it's all about, developing a financial tool that will be long lasting, right? And that will be strong enough to stand, the weathers of time. We know what's coming for us. The best that we can do for each other, especially if you're a fellow believer, is to build your financial tool. That way you can have mobility. You can have options. You can have choices. Tap in with us. You understand what I'm saying? Tap in as quickly as you possibly can. So let's get into it, man. Let's go and do the shout outs, y'all. Let's drop for all my righteous alpha men. Let's drop some RAM in the chat, all right? In the chat room, all right? And all my elegant women who's exceptional, drop some sheep in the chat for me, please. Please. We're going to get this thing rocking and rolling, man. Let me go ahead and do my shout outs. Let's go. Feast of Tabernacles. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. 2027. Let's go. Looking forward and ahead of the future. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Seasons to Journey. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Ryan, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Good to see you in this thing. Hey, yeah, I appreciate it. My mother, Mama Shay, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Shalom and blessings to you as well. The honorable brother Odell is in the building. Bless you and shalom, my brother. Man, way across the pond. Bless you and shalom, shalom, shalom. Brother Tony, my dog, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom. Brother Weaver, welcome in. You got a star like, bro. Man, listen, I appreciate you, man. I heard the stream cut out during the music play. Crazy. Yeah, yes, sir. Bless you and shalom. Welcome in, man. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Brother Angelo, welcome in, my brother. Peace and blessings to you as well, family. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom. My brother, bro, Vic, man, standing on business as always, bro. Vic, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom. I appreciate you guys keeping us updated, man, and everything that you guys are doing over there on the Discord. Honestly, the team on Discord is A1. You got to understand, y'all. They be on top of all kinds of stuff, especially brother Vic and brother Odell. You guys got to follow them. Go ahead and make sure you subscribe to your channel. You got a lot of great music over there and also some real solid information in regards to short films, okay, from over there from brother Odell. So you guys got to go check those things out. What we're looking to do is help equip you to understand how to identify cult leaders and people who wish to control the narrative, control you, right? Control your financial tool. We just want to shed light on that so you guys can have a full, clear picture. All right, let's continue. And they're doing a fantastic job over there as well. So I'm gonna definitely be sharing more stuff. I've been a little busy, but we definitely gonna be sharing up a lot of stuff. Y'all go subscribe to Bro Vic and also to brother Odell. Okay. Mama Clay, welcome in. Mama Clay, good to see you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you, bless you. All right, we got Ram and Sheep. Sister Amy, welcome in. I can't forget to get with you, Sister Amy. I gotta actually get with you. How we're doing on the stream. I know that I'm hopefully I'm not cutting in and out. I'll see that I'm doing something here on the desk on the laptop. So I just want to be sure. Is there any echoes? Let me know if we're having any echoes. Give me a little bit of feedback, okay? Sister Rose, welcome in. Get to see you in anything. Bless you and shalom. Brother Reggie, bless you and shalom, shalom. Good to see you in this thing. All right, Trucker, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you. Bless you, bless you, and shalom, shalom. TB, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom. All right, we on 10. We on 10. Let's get into this thing, y'all. I want you guys to know something, right? That when we're diving into these particular topics and subjects, we're not diving into them because somebody's bitter, because somebody wants this to be exposed because, we just want to tear things down so badly. My thing is this. They went on a full-on blitz. I got other things to talk about. I got other things that I would like to introduce to you guys, in which I will, you know what I mean? But when it comes to these particular situations, I know for sure I need to approach it head on. There's no other way to do it. So my thing is that, since we're all about thinking for ourselves, we're not going to take some guy who has a fake hawk, right? A fake hawk or whatever it may be, all on, disease, whatever it may be, right? We can see the level of deception that he's under. We can see the level of affliction. Not only that, we all know where he's currently at when he's claiming he cares about the people. We know for a fact that he don't care about none of y'all. Yeah, this past feast we seen Dowell walk around, and y'all know who I'm talking about, right? Y'all know who I'm referring to. I think that,
They come to my house. Sometimes, if it's a man, you may even see me in my underwear. It's a man, you may even see me in my underwear. If it's a man, you may even see me in my underwear.
My thing is this, right? Since this individual seems to not want to let go, he seems to not want to take, I guess, the level of rebuke, reprove, correction that has been given not only from the Warsheep Podcast, but also from Pastor Rufus. Let me see, Elder Brent, Elder Chris Paul, Elder Jim McLean. Who else? Who we got? Some of the closest people to him. One thing that I'm going to say right now, y'all, that I'm extremely disappointed about is Douglas Becker, and the cowardly way that he's moved. My thing is this, right? I mean this with all respect and all love. in regards to the level of contributions that Douglas Becker has had in my life and allowed and poured into me in such a way that I didn't think was possible. Okay. I didn't think people cared enough. But I'm going to say this, that I got to keep it honest. I got to keep it real. I know that Douglas Becker is not a coward. I know that he's a man of respect. He's a man of value. He's a man that is full of integrity. And I know this because I know him firsthand. I've met him. We've broke bread together. We've had many conversations, not only over the phone, but over Marco Polo in person. And the level of retraction of statements, deleting of videos, tucking tail, deleting comments, not allowing the people to have a voice in something that was completely just one of the greatest atrocities known to that particular community of Straitway. You understand what I'm saying? But the way that he approached it, the way that he did it, I felt that he was tactful in it, but I also felt he held back. And I'm speaking on it now because of the simple fact that I wanted to give it time. I didn't want to just jump out here and start talking about the level of restraint that Douglas Becker has put himself under, in which I believe that he could have came out and edified the people on a higher level, on a greater level. If he would have truly pitched it properly, right, and told the truth as to what needed to be known as to why he left, one of the OGs, one of the day ones of Straitway. Why did you leave? Why would you leave out the facts and the details of this particular situation? Why would you leave the people hanging and honestly come with a very biased opinion? Listen, you're trying to play both sides. A very unbiased opinion. My apologies. A very unbiased opinion. You're playing both sides. And I believe that that is not book. I believe that pursuant to Leviticus 5:1, the things that the foundations that the Warsheep Podcast stands on, pursuant to what Brother Robert came out and actually said and stated first, Leviticus 5:1, pursuant to the foundational work coming from the scriptures of Proverbs 31:8-9, right? To speak up for the needy, to speak up for the poor, to defend those who are in need, to speak up when you see transgressions of iniquity. He did not keep the book. He didn't keep it. And so many others have not. But for somebody who's made an attempt, I give you an applause for an attempt. You understand what I'm saying? For your attempt, I will give you a literal applause. You tried your best. You did what you could to fill the void. You did what you could to provide more context. And I believe that you did provide that context. But listen, I don't believe that Douglas Becker was effective enough to be able to have the people understand the truth in the matter, to set the record straight, to draw the line in the sand to where now we don't have to worry about people launching all of these fake testimonies and trying to sway the people's minds back into a deception because that they're under themselves. Let's keep it real, y'all. Right? After all my investigations, man, listen, people have come to me and told me, listen, people have told me Douglas Becker has deleted this and deleted that and done this and done that. Listen, he's not even allowing people to freely speak on the comments. I know we want to keep it respectful, and I respect that you want to keep it respectful, but I also want you to understand that's the reason why that we're in the position that we're in right now, is trying to do what? Censor the voices of the people. That's the reason why all of this mess is where it's at. That's the reason why that people are speaking out live on social media platforms, various social media platforms. That's the reason why everybody's doing what they're doing, is because the voices of the people are all but silenced in that ministry and many other ministries around the world, Christianity ministries, Scientology, right? Methodist Church. These places have silenced the voices of the people for decades. And the same model that R.G. Stair implemented during his time when he was deceiving the people has been implemented here at Straitway. And so controlling the voices of the people is what the problem truly is. That's the nucleus of the matter, right? That's the nucleus. Brother Nick called Dowell out in regards to the trident that he keeps on his hat, on the crown of his head. He keeps it high on a crown of his head. A pitchfork, a trident. You understand what I'm saying? This is what he called it. Keeps it at the crown of his head. He was called out on that. And the person who called him out, his voice was all but silenced. He was kicked out. He was removed. All these other things because he dared to challenge the truth. Was it idolatry? Is it idolatry? It has turned into idolatry because he doesn't want to get rid of the pendant. It is something that he loves and holds dearly to. He doesn't want to get rid of this trident. He want to get rid of this pendant. He's not going to adjust anything in regards to trying to satisfy the people. Be sure that he's not offending the people since his condemnation is greater as a leader in Israel. He claims and says that, oh, I'm a young man and I have nothing to add to him value-wise. One day, Dowell, you will turn around and you will thank me the way that I'm on your hindquarters, the way that I'm on your hems, because I expect greater from you. I expect better from you. I expected greater from you. I expected better from you as a younger man. I looked up to you as an older man because guess what? I saw the morals and the values you stood by, and I respected that. I didn't respect it enough to abandon the Messiah. I didn't respect it enough to contradict the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. I didn't respect it enough to turn my back on the truth when the Spirit was nudging at me to speak up, but I respected it enough to go in and to take a look, to fellowship with you, to accommodate you in ways, right, and help you out and support you in many ways. I remember I gave you a DSLR camera, a very expensive DSLR camera, to help you spread the truth, to help you get the word out about the truth. You received that DSLR camera and all the equipment that came with it. You understand what I'm saying? But then you turn around and tell me that my opinion holds no bearings, that what I have to say about an older man who I looked up to once, who has fallen from grace, and it has been on a slow fall until he's got the wealth. When he got the wealth, it was a steep fall after that, y'all. Come on now. I know y'all can agree with me. Once he got the wealth, man, it was a steep fall from there. You understand what I'm saying? Hard. He hit the deck hard after that. You understand what I mean? Right? Becker told me that the whole thing started wrong from the beginning. Part of the problem of sweeping up everything under the rug for Dowell. Yeah, Elder Becker did keep relationships with people outside of the Straitway camp. And my thing is this, right, y'all, is that it probably was started wrong. My thing is that Douglas Becker, Elder Becker, with all the amount of respect that I do have for you, I got to have love for you too, right? And I got to tell you the truth with all due respect. You could have handled the situation on your own. There was no reason for you to pull in Pastor Rufus. There was no reason for you to pull him in to confront Pastor Dowell. And I believe that's the reason why they're saying that it was handled incorrectly from the beginning. I know that this is probably something that may beat you up inside. You probably think about it from time to time and say, hey, I could have handled that better. And I would have to agree with you on that, right? Because I believe that a lot of this wouldn't have taken place if you yourself would have done the best that you could to approach Dowell with the things that you've heard on that land and what you needed to address. You just had to be man enough. Right. And I'm not saying that you're not man enough. I'm just saying at that moment, the decision that you made was not a proper decision that a man should make. in order to confront the problems and issues in a place that he lives. And I want to be respectful. You know why? Because the amount of love and respect that I have for Elder Becker, okay, you got to understand that I have that love and respect. But like I said, I got to be very fair in what I say and what I'm talking about. Nobody should be able to have a pass, regardless on how much I love and respect them. But I'm glad you did what you did. You know why? Because the amount of individuals who may have fallen away from the Messiah, fallen away from the Most High, fallen away from the faith completely, a lot of them who didn't have a voice, who have been mistreated and still are being mistreated, would not have an opportunity for advocacy if you yourself did not do what you did in trying to pull in Pastor Rufus to fight your own battle. If you didn't do that, then we would not have been able to inspire hundreds of people to make sound decisions to turn away from this particular ministry. So you gotta credit yourself for that you say that you helped and helped many people see the truth and help many be brave enough to speak out about it, right? We gotta understand this 110%. So no, we're not going to bash. We're not going to do anything. I heard a few things, y'all. Honestly, tell you the truth, right? I heard a few things that were going on. And honestly, I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I've been doing all kinds of different things, right? I've been really, I've been busy, trying to take care of business and also be sure that I'm posting regularly, staying on track with being sure I connect with you all. I've been really trying to multitask, but my thing is that I still was able to go and do a few investigations today, y'all. And upon my investigations, you got to understand what I discovered. You got to know that I saw the truth. I'm like, yo, this is solid. This brother laid it down, okay? And I thought that the way that this brother laid it down, I had to pull it up for review. And I'm hoping that he created and did it just so I can be able to review it. We're going to go ahead and jump into this thing here real quick, y'all. I know that I'm getting ahead of myself, but let's listen in on Brother Jordan. Brother Jordan real quick. Now, y'all go get on the likes. Make sure y'all get the views up. But I gotta play you guys what he said. This thing is 6 minutes long, y'all. I know y'all can be able to kick it with me for about 6 minutes. Let me jump into the chat before we get this thing played. All right. The money helped Dowell to become a worse antichrist. Yeah, it definitely fed the beast, y'all. It definitely fed the beast. All of us leaders have to own up to this verse. Yeah, absolutely. And also us who supported, who gave the support, who tried to make ourselves known in this ministry by supporting as much as we possibly can. We got to own up to it. And I take full accountability for my actions, and I do what I can to shed light on what the darkness truly is, right? If you need time, you can cut back on the weekday to get more handled. Hallelujah. Bless you. Absolutely. Submitting to a righteous person or leader is not the problem. It's when the person or leaders are wicked and want you to do their wickedness. You have the right. Choose Yah's righteousness. You have the right to choose Yah's righteousness. Hallelujah. Wisdom. You understand what I'm saying? Wisdom that comes from Mama Clay. And, the way that she presents a lot of the wisdom that she gives that comes from scripture, not only from this text that she just wrote in the chat room. You got to understand. Absolutely. 110%. We all have an opportunity, but guess what? It's through our patience. It's through our experience. That right there is what truly matters, because once you're deceived once, guess what? Fool me once. Shame on you, or shame on me. Fool me twice. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? You can identify that you're going to move differently after this. You're going to be able to identify individuals who are charismatic, who have charisma, who are teaching and preaching and trying to literally manipulate you through the scriptures. As you know, here on the Warsheep Podcast, listen, we tell you to use your autonomy, use your mind, move in the ways of Yeshua. Yeshua was teaching you to unlock your conscious mind, to free yourself from the bondage of the things on this planet. You know why he was teaching this? Because he has many parables and many examples as to why. One of them is this, right? Here's what I do know. One of them is this. He told the rich young ruler to sell all and give it to the poor. This was a test. This was a test to say that this tool, this financial tool that he has made his Elohim in his life, this rich young ruler who wanted to follow Yeshua, he has identified the tool of making him a man. It made him a man. It made him the man that people saw, not that the Most High saw, but that people saw, that man saw. And he saw that this man's attachment to the tool was greater loved than his attachment to following him. So he wanted to test him in detachment. Detaching yourself from the things of this earth is what Yeshua really wanted you to do, and to walk in the spirit, giving you the great comforter, right? The gift to be able to guide you into all truth, right? The Holy Spirit will not guide you into idolatry of technology, of money, of anything of this earth. Only spiritual things that are of the Father is where the Holy Spirit will lead you and guide you. That's it. So when you're following and keeping the ways of Yeshua, you're unlocking your conscious mind and you're stepping into a spirituality that follows biblical principles. We're not talking about new age junk. We're not talking about any of that stuff that will have you relying on chakras and relying on stones and all these other things that cannot save you truly, but that will bring you back to the Father in worship and praise and honoring him and the things that he does on a day-to-day basis for us all. You understand what I'm saying? Strengthening his kingdom. If you're not giving the Father the glory in all that you're doing, you're not doing something right. Right? And all of this rest of this BS, the people in the music, the secular music, the people who are doing things to manipulate others' minds who aren't spiritually connected and grounded, it ain't going to affect you. You know why? Because you have a relationship with Christ. You have a relationship with the Most High. None of that's going to affect you because you're going to transcend above all of that. You can identify it and discern it once you're spiritually grounded and connected truly. And I've learned this, right? And if I observed it and experienced it firsthand. I just wanted to part ways with that. Y'all. Mama Clay, man, you unlocking wisdom. All right. All of us have our own up to this verse that were leaders at Straitway 12. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree with the Honorable Elder Chris Paul and what he's saying. That's the reason why, I don't hold anything to the leaders who have left Straitway, who have left these cult-like environments, and who are now either speaking out through emails, through text, through behind the scenes, or are now speaking out in public. I give you all honor, respect. I give that to you. You know why? Because it takes a lot to speak out and to face public scrutiny. You understand what I'm saying? As our beloved elder Jim McClain is facing public scrutiny right now from Karatazar, somebody who should be fully equipped and ready to support anything that sheds light on darkness. This individual has taken time out of his day, time after time, to bash individuals who have done the right thing, who are walking in repentance, who have done what they could to shed light on the darkness. He doesn't understand the difference between his asshole and in the truth. Born again Israelites, Karatazar, don't understand it. And I do say it with all due respect, as much respect as I can give there. But an old fool is an old fool, regardless on how he speaks or what type of jot or tittle he makes, right? My thing is that when you identify people who are actively doing righteousness and you target them and tell them that they're wicked, you are but an old fool. And you can be rebuked like an old fool for bearing false witness, for trying to sway the minds of the people in their opinions of somebody else's character. So when this individual is fighting behind the scenes, you're destroying this and manipulating this individual's character. What sense of gratification are you receiving from that? Born again Israelites, Karatazar. What satisfaction are you getting from destroying and tearing down a man's character? And all he's trying to do is provide clarity. So many times as you've done with Pastor Rufus. Now you're setting your sights on other individuals who are doing all that they can to be able to try to keep us united. Me personally, listen, whoever you are, you can get it however you want to get it. If you want unity, I would love to approach unity with you step by step. But if you want war, I'm totally fine with war. You understand what I'm telling you? But you have other individuals, elders who are true elders out here, right? Representing this community that wants unity and peace. And that's what they fight for, literally, through email, through private communication, through trying to just bring and unite us together, right? Trying to clear the smoke. That's not my job. That is those elders' job. My job is to unbiasedly view something and speak on it. And if you want peace and if you want unity, my job is to show you love, compassion, unity. That's when we can get to there. That's when we can get there. But my thing is this, right? I still got to keep it fair. So I still show respect and honor to you and the rest of you who are speaking up and speaking out, who have left a cult-like environment. All the former deacons can bless many if they tell their story. Yeah, that's true. Shout out to the Honorable Pastor Rufus is in the building. My brother, welcome in. Welcome in. Bless you and shalom. All right. We got Lester needs to be put under the jail with the keys thrown away. I touch and agree with that for sure. But it's just so he can be restored, so he can get back on track to what the true mission and goal is. My vision for Karatazar, for Lester, is that he is somebody who can provide and feed the people if he's able to receive correction, if he's able to receive rebuke, reprove, and if he can move away from holding people accountable for things that they've repented for. I think that we can have a very good balance. You understand what I'm saying? Because the Most High hates a false balance. I believe that Karatazar can provide great balance, but my thing is that if he keeps on with this crusade against people who are trying to help after being deceived themselves, as an elder, as somebody who supported a false or fictitious ministry, if he continues on with this crusade, then there's nothing else that we can do. We just have to hold him accountable for what he's currently doing. And I think it's a bunch of BS that you want to try to slander a man for speaking and trying to bring unity, trying to bring us together, trying to clear the smoke. Elder Jim McClain sent out emails to be able to get you to engage so you can be able to clear the smoke, because you're supposed to be on our side, Karatazar. You're supposed to be fighting on our side. You're supposed to be supporting us in what we do. And this is the reason why so many have fallen away from listening to us on this side, is because they see that we don't got our shit together. They see that, there's a conflict. I don't care if Victoria has an issue or some stick up her ass. I don't care if Mike cannot get over an offense from an etiquette video. I could care goddamn less. My thing is this, right? You should always be fair in your judgment. You should always be unbiased. You should always seek in all of your getting. You should always get what? An understanding of what's truly going on. You understand what I'm saying? Before you pick a side, before you start to judge a matter and hold fast and attack individuals who are out here looking and seeking to do much good. But my thing is that it's already been prophesied that you would be one of those ones, Karatazar, Mike, Trey Moore, Victoria. You guys have been prophesied about. They have spoken about you all. You understand? We continue on, y'all. God bless everyone. Blessings. Christ bless you, brother Robert Tucker. Welcome in. We got some things we got to handle, y'all. Hallelujah. All right, let's get into this first video, y'all. I want you guys to listen in on this, and I want you guys to hear it closely. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are already viewed it, but I want to weigh in on what he's saying. So let me share my screen with you guys real quick, and we're going to dive into this thing. Honestly, like I said, I'm proud of my brother Jordan, who left recently, and he's out here crushing it, y'all. Y'all going to be very, honestly, you guys should be, honestly, it's all respect. It's all respect and love, because you know what? He came out here and he hit the ground running, and he took care of his business. He got busy. So let's go ahead and get this thing popping, y'all. Let's go and get this thing popping. Let's listen in to what he has to say about this. Let's go.
The day that you realize why.
Okay, hold on. He says why Straitway is doing what they are doing right now. Why are they doing what they're doing? Let's listen in as to what he has to say.
These Straitway communities are forcing their members to sign these covenant contracts will be the day that you realize that this ministry is off. One thing I discovered recently was that there's a 14-point checklist that the IRS has that you need to be able to check off with your church in order to get tax exemption status. Don't believe me? Go look it up. How do you think Straitway has gotten tax exemption status? By checking each of the boxes. This 14-point checklist was created by the CIA. Why? Because groups of believers together is dangerous to the government. So they put a carrot in front of all these churches' faces, a carrot on a stick, to make them do what they want them to do, or at least put them in a box. And the carrot is tax exemption. Similar to getting a marriage license, you get benefits if you get a marriage license, right? But you also lose rights. You also lose certain privileges. So if you look at Straitway, they've made a lot of changes in the last couple years. Go read their bylaws on the Straitway Truth website. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That's why they're implementing these covenant contracts, because they got to have what they call a vow of poverty statement, similar to what the Catholic Church is, learning the ways of the heathens, right? In order for you to gain some sort of benefit from the United States government. But what did Jesus say? When people came to him and asked him, should we pay taxes? This was a question in Jesus's day. And what did Jesus say? Go look at the dollar bill. What does it say on it? Whose is it? Federal Reserve note. Okay, so give the Federal Reserve what's the Federal Reserve's, and give the Yah what is Yah's. Isn't that what Jesus said? So if we're going contrary to that, isn't it what he says to one, he says to all? So if you're going and have to jump through all of these hoops, essentially put all of your members as slaves to the controller of these foundations in order for you to get tax exempt, that's borderline anti-Messiah. It's borderline anti-Christ, because Jesus didn't tell you to do that. Jesus just told you to give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give to Yah what is Yah's. It's ridiculous. I really hope you guys go in and you look at what it means to inure yourself. I-N-U-R-E. What does that mean? Because if you've got tax exemption status and your pastor or your leader is inuring himself, you're in big trouble. You know, it's funny. You see videos that Pastor Dowell makes talking about Rufus with the ATF, blah, 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 blah. What you're going to realize pretty soon is that the very things that these people wished to happen to others is going to fall back on their own heads. Make videos about Rufus with the ATF, right? Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. I wonder if anybody has evidence of saints a part of Straitway making alcohol at their communities and bringing it to another community to sell it during the feast. I wonder if that's legal. I wonder if anybody has evidence about ordering guns that are 80% lowers, assembling them, milling them out with the ghost gunning machine and transporting them across state lines. I hope you're not selling them, because that'd be illegal. And that's what the ATF really cracks down on. So it's going to be interesting to see who are the people who really get in trouble for these things. Who are the people who are really doing these things within the ministry? It's funny, the very things that they accuse other people of, it seems to be that that's the very thing that they're doing themselves. You got people saying Pastor Dowell is the Moses of this generation. Okay. Show me in the word where Moses ever took a vacation. Why is your pastor having to take a vacation? He can't handle 1,000 people. Moses dealt with 600,000 people, and he never took a vacation. You got Moses of this generation, you got to take 5 vacations a year just so that way he doesn't lose his goddamn mind. I can't even call Pastor Dowell anymore. I'm calling him, from now on, I'm calling him Pastor Giza Matz. And go look that up if you don't understand what it is. It's pretty damn clear, the behavior of certain men and why they're doing what they're doing. It's a literal shame for that. In order for you to get tax exemption status with the government, that you have to make all of your members slaves to your foundation. You know, Pastor Dowell used to say, or Pastor Giza Matz used to say, own nothing and control everything. Well, I'll ask the question on your communities. If you're a member of one of these communities, what do you own? Probably nothing. And what do you control? Probably nothing. So you own nothing and you control nothing. So what are you? You are a slave. Go look at the bylaws. Everybody works volunteer. According to the bylaws, I think it's kind of crazy that Pastor Dowell even put a lien on that property that's down there and then has in his very bylaws that people work for free. How the fuck are you going to be able to swing that when it's in your own goddamn bylaws that people go and work for free? And then you're going to say that he owes Straitway X, Y, and Z, and that's why he can't sell his house because of your stupid ass lien. It's funny when people dig holes and then fall into them themselves. Isn't that what the word says is going to happen? They lay a net for you, but then they end up getting ensnared in their own goddamn shit. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. You realize I'm being sarcastic because this shit ain't funny. It's fucking sad. It's going to be a sad day when this judgment stuff comes. I ain't going to be the one sitting there rejoicing. Nope. But I know what's going to happen. When this stuff actually does happen and people are possibly behind bars or whatever happens to them, I doubt they'll repent. Because what they're going to do is they're going to take the mindset, I'm just being persecuted for my faith. That's why I'm behind bars. I'm like Paul, going to jail. That's why. Yeah, but Paul said, be you no more servants of men. Didn't he say that? But then you want to make men your servants. You're sick. Those who lead into captivity they shall go. Bless y'all. You shall go.
All right, y'all. So you heard what he had to say in regards to the situation. Oh, hold on, copyright. Let's go ahead and close that out. Y'all heard what he had to say in regards to the situation. My thing is this, right? The points that he's hit on, y'all tell me where the lies are. If you believe that the points that he's hitting on and touching on are accurate and true, and honestly, that a lot of individuals on this side, right, who's speaking against the wickedness, that we are all standing on business, and honestly, we are showing for some mercy. Put a W in the chat if you believe that we're showing mercy and having certain operations be shut down right now that could be completely wiped out if we all but take control of the situation. Put a W in the chat if there's some mercy that's being showed here toward these individuals. Put an L in the chat if you feel like that we're not being merciful. And I'm going to add in a bit of a piece of information in regards to what the truth is, what recently has been uncovered, what recently has been done. Yeah, you have testimonies coming out. You have people who are speaking against not only Pastor Rufus, because they were a part of the Straitway Georgia Assembly or whatever, and they were probably partaking in some of those meetings that were taken up there. My thing is this, right? Is when this individual, I forget the guy's name, okay? Forgive me. The guy's name, whatever. I don't believe he stated it. But Dowell reposted his video and testimony in regards to what he experienced. And he had a question that I wish to answer right now. I want to answer the question of was it wicked? Was it evil? What kingdom was being manifested during this time of conversation and communication? What kingdom was truly being manifested? I believe the individual that was speaking, this light-skinned brother, whoever he is, that was speaking during this time, right? Of course, he wanted to articulate himself in such a way that made it seem like something, but I'm going to let you all in on the truth in regards to that testimony. It lacks a human element and capacity. Let me tell you a little bit more about what I mean by that. It lacks a human element and capacity because there is no compassion. There's no level of compassion or understanding as to what somebody will be going through after standing in the gap for a brother who came to him. I'm talking Elder Becker came to Pastor Rufus, and Pastor Rufus stood in the gap for him. After that, sometimes you got to have ways to try to defend yourself. It's a human capacity to where automatically you shift into a mode to where you're like, okay, I need to be sure I get out and start to speak on some of these things to clarify for understanding. Now, a lot of that may not sound in the most, I guess, purest ways a lot of times, right? Sometimes it's going to sound like the individual giving understanding based on what they know they're going to be slandered by. If Pastor Rufus knew he would be slandered by Dowell, right, and the words that they would be using, he knows what they're going to say. He knows the bad things that's going to be said. So him speaking on those things would make a lot of sense during that time, especially during a high stress situation. It lacks a human element to it because they lack compassion in that ministry. They don't give a shit about how you feel. They don't give a shit about what's truly going on. They don't care. There's no compassion to understand one's position as to why they may have spoke on something or walked away from something or feel the way that they feel on something. I'm not saying that they got to be, teddy bears, you feel me, or whatever it may be. But you need to at least acknowledge when somebody is going through something great, like a 14-year relationship being dissolved in the way that it was being dissolved in. And in that individual being a leader of a community where people respected and admired him, right? Now they have an opportunity to see him in a completely and totally different light that does not look very well on him and his character. So I wouldn't be surprised that he would speak about it in a very candid way, to be honest. Let's go ahead and go over here real quick, because some people seem to forget about what the truth is. And my thing is that if we're gonna judge people, we got to also understand how to judge righteously, right? But judge not lest ye be judged. You understand what I'm saying? That's why, the heat that comes my way, the people that talk trash about me and the Warsheep Podcast, listen, I've judged. So I got to understand I will be judged, and I got to understand how to handle it, right? In a mature way. You understand what I'm saying? So that, it is what it is, but I'll continue to identify things and judge it as righteously as I possibly can. Okay. That's what I can promise to you. Let's go ahead and dive into this real quick. I want to pull up this scripture, y'all. And I want you guys to carry this with you as we continue on. Because honestly, these people forget totally and completely. When somebody is speaking on certain topics and situations and they're saying something about an individual that you may not like, you also got to know that they're saying it for a reason. And can they be telling the truth? It doesn't matter if what kingdom does it support. No. Are they telling the truth about the individual's character? So the things that Pastor Rufus said, was he telling the truth about Dowell's character? Was he? Was he telling the truth? I don't know why this just disappeared on me, but we're going to go ahead and shift gears. Was he telling the truth about the character of this individual? That's what I really want to know. All right. Let me adjust this real quick for you guys so you can see it better, of course. All right, here we go. All right, we got Galatians 4:15. No, we're going to go to Galatians 4:16, y'all. 4:16. Right? And I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Right? They zealously affect you, but not well. They what? Would exclude you that ye might affect them. So the moment they start to do what? Exclude you. They start to remove you. They start to get rid of you. The moment they start to do a lot of these things because they don't want you to affect their bag. They don't want you to affect their forward motion. They don't want you to affect the way that other people view them as well, right? Since somebody's being confronted for things that honestly were identified in their character, in their spirit, right? By the individuals who are now left that ministry. They don't want you affecting the people who are new. They don't want you affecting the money bags, the NFL players who donate $500 per live stream, $500 a week. You understand what I'm saying? That's $2,000 a month. A lot of y'all are struggling in Straitway right now to pay your rent, to pay your utilities, to pay your car notes. A lot of you are struggling right now and you have fear to speak up on your struggles because you know that it'll be held against you as a man. You know that you can't come out and speak on a lot of these issues and problems if you want to keep your dignity, if you want to keep your sense of peace. You know that you can't speak out, even though you really want to, right? Even though you really want to speak up and speak out and have some help, you know that these people and individuals cannot be trusted because they're going to affect you in ways that you don't need to be affected and you don't deserve to be affected. But these people also are going to do what? Exclude you, knowing that you're going to affect what? Zealously. These individuals, right, who have made you an enemy will zealously affect you, but not well. Yeah. They would exclude you that ye might affect them. They don't want you messing up their bag. They don't want you destroying all that they've built. They don't want you challenging their position of authority. They don't want you doing any of that to make them look like they're lesser than who they really are. So what are they going to do? They're going to do what? Exclude you. They're going to remove you, banish you, excommunicato. This is what they're going to do. All because you told them the truth. You've been made an enemy to them because you told them the absolute truth, right? Let's go ahead and go to another one real quick, y'all, before we move on. Let's go to another one. Let's go to Ephesians 4:15. Ephesians 4:15. Let's roll with that real quick. In the world. Ephesians 4:15. Mosquito got in here. All right, Ephesians 4:15, y'all. But speaking the truth is love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even of Christ. Now, when you speak in truth, when you're speaking facts, you got to understand this is what you're supposed to do, especially if you consider yourself to be a leader in your own home. You're supposed to be speaking the truth. You're supposed to be standing on business. You're supposed to be speaking facts. The moment your voice is being suppressed and you're being oppressed and you're not able to speak on the facts and the truth, you got to understand it's for a reason. When an individual says that, oh, you're too young, when honestly they read the same book, Dowell, You read the same book as I do, right? You read the same book, but I don't hear you speaking and preaching when it comes to Paul writing to our beloved brother Timothy, telling him to not allow these elders to despise him in his youth, but you despise me in mine. You despise me in mine. You say you don't want to take my advice. Don't take my advice. Take my rebuke. Take my reproof. Take my correction. Take the truth that I'm giving to you. You shouldn't ask widows for money. You shouldn't ask widows for money to where they need to provide for their families after the death of their husbands. You don't need to ask for widows for money unless you're looking and seeking to make investments to be sure that to secure their future. And in fact, Dowell, you took this widow's money, asked her for this money, you received it. There's no reason why you should have asked for it, but you received it and you effectively did nothing to build for this woman's future. So I'm wrong for saying that you're wrong. Me being in my youth and saying that you're wrong for what you're doing, I'm wrong. I shouldn't be speaking. I shouldn't be reproving you, giving you some information you can be able to at least chew on, planting a seed on how I thought that your character was greater than this. I expected more from you, Dowell. I expected and suspected more and greater from you. And I got to tell you now, there's another situation where I've been let down and many others, right, have been let down and thinking that you would be the man to be an example. And in fact, we have an elder Brent Crago, a man who you call wicked, doing the very thing that I advise you that you should have done, and rejecting this widow from giving him money, from providing him anything. You understand what I'm telling you? We have individuals like Pastor Rufus who allowed the widow to make a decision whether she wanted to give or not. Where you left this woman no choice. You told her that she needs to give you half of it. We can't say that that's integrity. We can't say that we can honor that. You understand what I'm saying? But we can't keep it real, though. We can keep it a buck. We can say that that was definitely something that I wouldn't suspect from somebody who's supposed to be a leader. I would expect it from some people who you claim to be wicked, who you've put out of this ministry and claim that they're all but wicked, right? But these men seem to have stood on righteousness and stood on business outside of everything, but all roads and all arrows point to you. And if these individuals who you claim to be now wicked and you've ordained them to positions of leadership, what does that make you, Dowell? You must be the most wicked individual on the planet. You chose to ordain multiple different leaders that have left your ministry. You chose, not we can't say the Most High Yah influenced the choice. We can say you chose. You know why? In your past and prior live stream, you said you're not ordaining any young men. What if these young men have an anointing on their life and the Most High has chosen them, but you, Dowell, have not chosen them? Guess what? You have superseded the authority of Yah because this young man is ordained and chosen by the Most High. Where you said, I'm not going to ordain anybody or do anything. Oh, you got to be an impeccable character, What if this man gives you a bit of trouble, just like what Elijah was, somebody who troubleth Israel, who was labeled to be somebody who troubleth Israel? I believe that Ahab identified him as a troubler because he wouldn't allow him to rest. Just as I'm identified as a troubler for you because I'm not allowing you to rest. I'm not allowing you to get away with it. I'm not allowing you to play in a field full of children, snatching their lollipops and skipping down daisies and roses with their resources and finance. I'm not allowing you to have the fun you're looking to have. And a lot of the other individuals who seek to have the fun with you, I'm not allowing you to do it. So I am he who troubled Israel, not to say that I'm Elijah, but to say that you've labeled me a troubler. I can share the same sentiments with Elijah and being labeled a troubler in Israel. People have said that I've been put out of several different fellowships. And if I was truly put out of several different fellowships, I would welcome that as a badge of honor. You know why? Because every individual are man-pleasing, man-worshiping, ass-kissing clowns. And I just ain't one of them. So if I'm being removed, if I'm being kicked out, or this, that, and the third, disgruntled because I told you the truth, because I told you you had a hating ass loser mindset that you needed to develop more, right? Into a higher plane, into a higher self that you can be able to accomplish anything. But really, you look at me and you hate on me because I'm doing all the things that you wish you could do. Trey Moore. Anybody else who associates himself like Trey Moore, the individuals who want to hate me for any other reason other than the truth, have no real true reason to hate on me, but they just choose to. And I'll tell you right now, listen, let's go ahead and get these likes up on this live stream. We need maximum effort, y'all.
Maximum effort.
We need maximum effort.
Maximum effort.
I promise you. Y'all who here hating on me, feel free.
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
Come on now. The shots. I don't mind that. But at least have the truth. At least stand on business and stand by the truth. Right? If you have nothing really to go off of, I can understand that too. But let's continue, y'all. My thing is this, right? We are allowing each other to understand when it comes to speaking on truth and standing on business, you got to do it at the best you possibly can. Sometimes you're going to get false information. Sometimes you may get people who want to flat out just lie about situations. I mean, I did an interview with Mike. And I don't believe that all of that was 100% accurate. To tell you the truth, I think a lot of it was lies. He's lost all credibility in my eyes. But guess what? Your testimony will still stand here on the Warsheep Podcast. You know why? Because the same lies that you may have told, you will be judged by. And those individuals who you may have lied on potentially, they can also speak truth. And guess what? We can contradict your lies with the truth. So it'll still stand. But my thing is that you know that sometimes false information comes. You got to do the best you can to weave it out and then make it right. If you've gotten false information, to clarify it, make it right, especially if the person has tangible proof and evidence and facts, right? There was rhetoric that was said that I had issues with Brother D. Jerry, and this was told to me by Mike, right? And this is something that honestly I suspected was going on, but I had no real clue on it because, man, I got no reason to hate nobody. I got no reason to be a person who just comes outwardly and starts to treat a person in an odd way. D. Jerry, I've always had respect for the guy. My thing is that, was it ever reciprocated all the time? It probably wasn't, but that wasn't none of my concern. And I didn't have anything to hold against him at all. You get what I'm saying? My thing is that however you want to carry yourself as an individual, that's how you want to carry yourself. And I don't have any problems with you in that. But for some reason, there's rhetoric and rumors that we have conflict. No, we don't have beef. I don't have any beef with the brother. You understand what I'm saying? I believe the brother to be a respectable guy, but I just don't, knowing him personally on that level, I don't know him like that. Just based on what I do know and when I fellowship with him, I don't got anything terribly bad to say about him at all. If he's got a bunch of bad things to say about me, bro, you should come holler at me. You get what I'm saying? But I don't have anything bad to say about the brother. These are some of the rumors that get spread. And these are some of the things that takes place. But this is the reason why standing on business and standing on truth is so important, because the moment you start to see the lies, hear the lies, you can easily discern the lies, right? Let's go on, y'all. We're going to hear a little bit about what this guy had to say in regards to, and this guy meaning, you know who I'm talking about. I'm just simply amazed by a lot of what came out this past week. And what I really need to address is the women, right? What I really need to address is the women. And when individuals are trying to diminish the power and the level of importance that they of a role that they play in a man's life, right? Yeah, it's great for them to be a chase keeper at home, but is that the only thing they should be limited to? That is the true question. Now, you'll have individuals who will tell you certain things in order to manipulate your mind to get you to suppress the woman that you're with and her true gifts and what she can do to add to your household, to be able to help you build, to help you sustain, to be a helpmeet, a proper helpmeet, right? A lot of women don't mind being a go-getter. A lot of women don't mind being a powerful woman, a shark out here who is able to humbly, right, through humility and through meekness, take the bull by the horns and produce and help provide for the family unit under all subjection to the man that she's with. A lot of these women don't have an issue with that. But you have individuals who want to tell you something different. And I don't knock it. I don't say that there's something wrong with this individual Dowell speaking the way that he is. I'm not saying there's something wrong with him wanting his women to be chase keepers at home, wanting them to be just at home servants and servitude, whatever it may be, to whatever his needs are. I'm not saying something's wrong with that. All I'm saying is Proverbs 31 tells us and teaches us of a different type of woman. That's all I'm saying. And if he truly wants his wives to be chase keepers at home, then he should shut down his wife's business. Mother Carol has Carol. She sells products. She has her own business. Okay. Shut it down. Let her be a chase keeper at home. Let her do the things that she needs to do at home. And, so we can't be biased and, it's okay for her to do business, but it's not okay for her to go out here and possibly work a 9 to 5 in order to provide more resources. Obviously, you don't trust your women, Dowell. Your women are not trustworthy. And that's the reason why you would not be able to place them on a 9 to 5 and know that they would not entertain another man. That's the reason why I know for a fact you got trust issues. Because your wives cannot be trusted. That's obvious. You're saying it out your own mouth, right? You're saying out your own mouth. You can't trust your women to be able to hold their own in a space, right? Meaning you yourself, you probably doing some things that make them want to entertain other spaces. So let's keep it a buck. All right. I was pulling that up, y'all. Let's go ahead and get this thing in here. Let's add it in real quick. I didn't have an opportunity to tag the individuals I'm speaking about today, but hopefully they understand it and hearing the message here. The message is what it is. It's facts, it's truth, right? And we're going to keep it real. In society that we're currently living in, Dowell, not everybody gets the luxury of waking up on land that's been provided to them by RG Stair, okay? Not everybody gets the luxury of doing that. Not everybody gets the luxury of waking up. And the one thing they're really looking forward to is finishing up this mansion that they're building that's being funded by their sugar daddy, sugar baby, Kabir. Not everybody gets this luxury, Dowell. So you got to understand that some of these wives out here have to hold it down with a man. And I believe that a lot of them who do hold it down with a man, they proudly hold it down with a man. And a man is totally and completely in love with them for holding it down with him. Because guess what? The economy is crazy out here. You understand what I'm saying? Now you effectively seeing and witnessing a man who does not give a damn about what you're going through out here in society. He's in his little cocoon, his little shell of a life, his little cocoon being provided for by sugar daddy, sugar baby, Kabir, and the rest of the gang. You understand what I'm saying? It effectively gives him over $2,000 a month just handing it to him, right? I know a lot of you individuals who are struggling, paying rent, paying bills, whatever it may be, and wife is on a 9 to 5. I know a lot of y'all can't wait to get her off a 9 to 5 and wish you could get a free $2,000 a month. You understand what I'm saying? Just to drop into the pot So you can take care of your household, you can take care of your family, you can do what you need to do for them, right? I'm pretty sure you can. You would love that. Let's go ahead and jump into this thing real quick. Let's hear what he has to say.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. Pastor Dowell here. Well, it looks like, and it does look like, that people are trying to change exactly what the word actually says. The instruction over in the book of Titus to younger women is that the younger women ought to love their husband, love their children, to be discreet, chaste keepers at home, so that the word of God is not blasphemed. Now, that's pretty much what it says. But today, it seems like people are breaking what the word actually says. You see, women, according to the word, scripture, as well as in the renewed covenant, they're not designed to be out here to be working on these jobs and everything else. They got a full-time job raising and rearing the children, being a first-line teacher. The women already have enough job, especially the ones who really, truly, actually care about their families and the maturation of it. Now, I'm talking about the women who actually care. Because the book teaches us that a virtuous woman, and the way that the Bible clearly breaks it down, to be discreet, not out here on Facebook, full of makeup, flaunting yourself, having seductive eyes, telling every man out here in the world to come and get me. No, that's not discreet.
Now, my thing is this. I don't know what women you surround yourself around, Dow. But I believe you're speaking of women who are not married, women who are maybe single, or women who don't understand their role in a marriage, right? I think you're speaking of a woman who may be in a Jezebel type of spirit, but honestly, tell you the truth, you're taking that in stigma and you're putting it off on individuals who may have left your particular cult, right? Or women who understand the law, statute, and commandments of the Most High, right? And you're putting it off on those women. And they've never done this. They've never even entertained this before. I totally get it when you're speaking on somebody who's a modern woman, a worldly woman who don't understand their place, their role in society that we're currently in. I totally get it if you're talking about that. But you're speaking about something that I spoke about just last week. I spoke about how women can be definitely a key tool to be used to help develop, to build, to grow, to be able to help sustain, to be a helpmeet effectively, to be a woman, a true pre-31 woman, a Proverbs 31 woman who can consider a field and who can buy a field with her own resources that she earned. When we're dealing with stuff like this, y'all, you got to understand when people want to spin a narrative, right? Because they want to keep control. When you want to keep control, it starts there. A lot of you men that are a part of Straitway right now have a tender heart towards your wife. And if you were to continue on with giving her ear, then you can't give Daddy Dowell a dime more of your money. So the best thing for him to do is to control the narrative, to control the women. And if he can control the women from where he's at, gain control of the women and also control of the men, then he can keep the financial resources pumping and flowing for generations to come. That's the reason why you all sign those slave contracts whenever you join any of these communities, effectively handing over all your rights and benefits and privileges. Listen, you're doing so because of the simple fact that for generations to come, you guys are being enslaved. Now, allow your future generations to make one false move, make one wrong step. Your whole generation is going to be removed from that land. You know why? Because they have the power to do so. Just as my brother Jordan was just stating, how many of you have something that you own, that you truly own? Or are you just living off of the leadership of Straitway? You're living off of their foundations. The moment you do something wrong, you make a false move, a false step, your punishment is what it is. Completely removed, all out on your ass with nothing. to show for all your hard work that you put in, right? If we want to keep it bucked, let's keep it a buck. This is the reason why he's trying to get in front of this narrative, because a lot of the women within Straitway would say, listen, I want to start a business in which I believe that you know the individual named Michael Cherry, who used to be a part of Straitway Truth Ministry. Now, Michael Cherry had this beautiful business that his wife, started. It was edible fruits, right? And it was dehydrated fruit that she was selling not only to the saints, but selling worldwide. In fact, her product was doing vastly well. Vastly well. They were part of Straitway Truth Ministries. I myself bought a lot of their products, and it was fantastic. The dehydrated fruit was scrumped. It was beautiful. It tasted great. They did a great job. From what I understand, Dowell was trying to undercut that business and was trying to get his hands on that product, get his hands on the revenue within that business so hard that these individuals discouraged and walked away from the ministry. These two people, and not only that, Michael Cherry, he himself was being bashed and put out there by Dowell. Dowell was exposing him within the ministry. In fact, he did so all over Marco Polo and whatever. And in my response to whatever Dowell was saying about this individual, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable the levels that an individual will go through in order to seize control over something that's an asset. And these are the step-by-step things that are done in a systematic way to remove control of the household. You got to first remove the man. Ask the Democratic Party. Ask the Democratic Party who sought to remove the men out of the melanated home. Not only through providing resources, but also through the prison system. And effectively, they have contracts of occupancy with the prison system. So that went really well once they started to do their war on drugs, and the Democratic Party pushed the war on drugs. You know, the same Democratic Party that melanated people believe is the Almighty himself, that they would never leave. Like Ronald Reagan would say that have these niggas voting Democrat for decades to come. The same Democratic Party that imprisoned innocent men, some innocent, and others by choice. They had to choose whether they'd starve or their families would go without, or that they sell or do crack cocaine. It's either one or the other. Would you want to sell it or would you want to do it? It's the choices that they had as men during this time, where an economic decline was honestly makeshift, to where now the men in the Black community were left jobless without resources. The only resources they had is that there was infiltration. You can sell crack or you can do crack. And I'm just making the comparisons because this is parallel. One or the other. But a lot of you melanated individuals, Black people, so-called, are still dedicated and committed to a Democratic Party that only wanted to keep you in slavery, in bondage, under government influence, welfare, benefits and privileges, and infiltrating your freedom and rights, telling you it's a democracy when we've always pledged our allegiance to a republic. You know what you said during when you stood up during school. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under the Almighty, under the Elohim, under an Almighty God. And a lot of those things are taken out of schools now. And they want to push democracy. It's not a democracy. It's a republic. You understand what I'm saying? Let me get off on the tangent. Let me get back on track. Listen, this is the same tactics that are being used. And a lot of you individuals will continue to conform to those tactics. You continue to allow your minds to be molded and shaped and influenced by those tactics of someone else's understanding, not your own. You don't agree with the position. You're influenced by the position, and you take on a position in the flesh, not the spirit. The spirit is telling you something different. The flesh is telling you, well, I want him to be sure that he likes me. I just want to be received. I don't want to be rejected. I want a position of leadership. I want another wife. I want this. I want to be able to be held in this esteem. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want to be the patriarch of my own home. I want to build a homestead. I want to build homes and do what they're doing. All while you're spiritually depleted. And you're absolutely right. Whoever this light-skinned brother is, he ain't preaching the truth no more. Everything he preaching is cardinal. You're absolutely right. Because whenever he goes into the pulpit, guess what he's doing? He is talking about somebody who's talking about him. He's beefing. So how are we observing and analyzing one individual, but we're not truly analyzing the action of the individual that Pastor Rufin was talking about? Why did he have that to say about the person, that testimony to speak on, right? What spirit influenced that? If he's sitting there and doing what he's doing, right? And he's actively speaking on Geno Jennings. He's actively speaking on Elder Chris Paul. And he's actively speaking on Elder Jim McClain and Elder Brent Crago. You know, a lot of men who are better men than he is. He's actively speaking on these men, right? And putting them to the forefront and saying that they're wicked, right? And tearing them down. And this is the essence of his sermons. You tell me what spirit that is. When somebody's sitting there constantly beefing and trying to stir up shit. And the moment that somebody comes with the firepower to meet his bullshit is the moment he starts to back down and cower down and shut the hell up. You understand what I'm saying? But when somebody's not speaking to him, when somebody's not addressing him directly, he ramps it up and starts really running his mouth, thinking that the person is fearful of whatever platform he thinks he has. You tell me what spirit that is. Light-skinned brother from Georgia. You tell me what spirit that is. What spirit is that? One that would show himself to be brave or bold when somebody is standing without challenge. But when somebody challenges his position and shows him what piece of shit he truly is, he decides to cower down. And yeah, I'm going to say a piece of shit. Yeah, POS. It is what it is. Down. Be mad. I don't give a shit. Don't care at the moment. But when somebody calls you out on your BS and you cannot compete, you close your mouth, you shut it up. Is that cowardness or is that being wise? Because, you know, you like to spin it like it's wisdom, right? But you know, you just can't compete. So the moment you feel like that somebody can't compete with you, then you start to really get bold. You start to get bold then, don't you? I'm starting to identify who you truly are. The man who I thought you were, you're not that at all. You do have some men around you who is actually like that, but you yourself, you're not like that. So let's stop pretending, right? And I'm going to be honest. There's people who get offended that I talk like this, that I address people like this, that I come at them in the way that I do. Listen, I don't give a shit. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm done caring about how you feel. But one thing that I would tell you is you need to come from a place of understanding before you start to reach to judgment, right? Come from a place of understanding. Know the amount of times that you as a person have talked shit about somebody in the private and gossiped. That's usually who you are, the ones who have a problem with people who have freedom of speech and they utilize their freedom of speech, right? When they utilize it and they speak up on BS, a lot of you people who are in over Sunday brunch are talking shit behind the scenes in private. You're the ones who, I can't stand that. You never talk to me about that, about you being disgruntled about something that I said. That's how I know for a fact you're one of those ministers of Satan, the gossipers, the ones who like to talk shit behind the scenes, right? And don't want to bring it to the person directly. The coward in you. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm addressing all of you who like to talk shit behind the scenes and don't bring it to the person directly. Every single one of you. You need to ask me if I care about this. And what I just got done saying, ask me after the show if I give a damn about how you feel about anything that I just got done saying. You understand what I'm saying? Just ask me. Ask me. And I can be able to answer the question for you directly. But I will stand on that.
And I'm gonna stand on that.
Okay.
And they can get in my DM. You can get in my DM all you want every day.
Let's continue, y'all. Let's continue. My thing is this. We're gonna listen to a little bit more of this and we gotta move on.
Chase keepers at home. How in the world you can't be teaching your children, commonly called homeschooling, and being the first line teacher to the children if you're not at home and you're out there working on the job and your wife is submitted to another man. I know people don't want to hear this today because the lust of the flesh has got so many people out there chasing the dollar and got them doing.
Well, you can see, you hear the level of detachment. The lust of the flesh got a man chasing a dollar. No, how about securing their families so they don't wind up on your shit list? How about securing their families so they're chasing a dollar, being sure that providing and making provisions, so they won't be considered to be an infidel, something that may be out of their control and not out of their circumstances, right? If they were to lose their job, they're not chasing it. If they're not doing the proper steps and things that would help them set the foundation. Listen, my thing is this, right? My ex-wife, we were separated. And I'm gonna tell this story here because of the simple fact that he called me prideful. Now listen this, all right, y'all. I want you to understand the reason why that Dowell rebuked me, right? When I was having an issue with my ex-wife, right? And we were having marital problems. He decided to blast that to the public, okay? He decided to blast it to the public, never apologized, never truly corrected it with me, never truly corrected it at all, didn't have a desire to. But my thing is this, right? Get this, y'all. He says what he's saying currently right now. But listen, the reason why he called me to be a prideful individual is because he said that I would not allow my ex-wife to get out here and work, that I refuse to allow her to get out here and make some money. And that's the reason why I was being prideful. So you got this to say, but you had that to say, which is very interesting. I actually had her doing like whatever was going on back then, Instacart or whatever. She was picking up and delivering orders, which I never really truly seen any benefits from, because I don't know if she was actually out there doing it. I think that she was actually on the phone with some of the sisters from Straitway and maybe trying to devise a plan to do what she did right during that time. But my thing is that I never seen anything. I told her to go out here and do deliveries and do this, that, and the third. He didn't know nothing about that. She told him that I wouldn't allow her to make any money or work, is what she told him. She also told the judge during the time we went to court, the very first time we went to court, in which I shut the whole courtroom down. Okay. I shut the whole courtroom down. But she told this judge that my son was having issues with certain things, school wise, because I forced her to homeschool. Complete lie. And I'm like, what type of BS is this? Because she herself, she told me, she said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to homeschool them. And I said, you know what? Find a charter school, find a private school, but get them in somewhere. I'm totally fine with him going to a private school, a charter school, something that won't force him to have to keep holidays or whatever, right? I'm totally fine with that. You understand what I'm saying? And which she effectively did none of that. She found a program online and she thought, well, maybe that program online could just teach them and that would absolve me from all responsibilities of having to teach. And so that's what she went with. I trusted her decision on that and I supported her in that. And then that's what took place. But I'm just telling you guys this because you got to understand the levels of lies manipulation that goes on behind the scenes with bitter women, with women who are bitter, who take on roots of bitterness. And, you know, a man who's telling you something, but truly it was totally opposite before. And the reason why he took a position before is because he just wanted to bash me. So let's keep it real, right? You say this now, Dowell, but before you told me something totally different. You spoke on something totally different. And the reason why I was prideful is because I wouldn't allow her to get out there and work or make a living or do anything. Which one is it? Or is it only what's convenient for you during the time it serves you? You're sitting here trying to debunk something when truthfully you sound ignorant. You sound like a control freak. You sound like somebody who's detached with reality of society. People who are not in the position that you're in, who may be begging and hoping to get on one of your communities. They're out here struggling to be able to pay for Daddy Dowell's vacations, to be able to pay for Daddy Dowell's light rent, especially since you've been denied your tax exempt status throughout all of your land. You met the criteria for certain portions of your land, and I have it now to where your appeal completely failed, Dowell. Your appeal didn't go through. They denied and rejected your appeal. And now guess what? We are at a position to where we would have to address your ministry in such a light that compassion has to be considered now. I reached out to the workforce over in Wisconsin in regards to a 13-year-old boy who was working in a construction site, something that was reported on by our blood brother Jordan. I reached out to this particular this corporation. They got back to me ASAP. They saw the YouTube video. They saw the video of the young boy carrying these logs across this dangerous platform, doing all of these things that he should not be doing on a construction site. And do you know how many emails I received from these individuals over there in Wisconsin? Multiple emails. They were on me about getting more information in regards to who they were over there in Royal Interiors. Who are these people? What was the job site? What's the boy's name? Who was driving the crane? Who was the one over there guiding them in? Who are these people? They looked you guys up over there in Wisconsin, and guess what they found? They found out that you're not registered. You're not a registered business. You don't have an LLC. You don't have a sole proprietorship. There's nothing that is publicly registered over there in Wisconsin. I promise you, they did their due diligence. And do you know what's keeping them from shutting y'all down? Do you want to know? Jordan Slamy, brother Jordan, who says, don't do it. No, don't do that. That's what's keeping from your business over there, Royal Interiors in Wisconsin. A brother who y'all did dirty, a brother who y'all shat on. That's what's keeping your business flowing. Is a brother who decided not to shut your business down when there's a corporation and company who has all the power to pull the plug and seeking you out, hunting you down, your business, looking for you totally, completely. They saw the video on YouTube. You understand the level of restraint, the level of integrity that it takes for me not to just go ahead and tell. They're willing to pull the plug and not even, they were willing to go based on no information from Jordan. Jordan told me not to do it. And so we did not. And we have not done it yet. Not yet. They're still waiting on a response. Let me say that. But they just needed the information to narrow it down to make their job easier. But they still were looking to pursue those individuals regardless. They know what Facebook you got. They know your name of your company. They understand that you've done what you've done. But compassion is what's keeping your business afloat. I wonder what the Father's going to do when he identifies the level of compassion that an individual who y'all shat on, Jordan Salami, brother Jordan, has shown you. I wonder if vengeance is going to be taken by the Most High at this point, since Jordan gave the vengeance to Yah. I wonder what's going to happen from that. What fruit will be produced from that? I don't understand what comes around with these folks who don't think that we are on a certain type of level or time to where we will pursue you. If you decide you want to try to forcefully do things, if you want to just take a big shit on people, if you want to treat people like total crap and you think that you cannot be held accountable, promise you can be. I understand how to do so effectively. I know which channels to go through. I know how to move. I know what paperwork I need to file, but mercy. But yet y'all still talking. You still got more to say. Rather than asking for forgiveness, you hold your position continuously. I think this is pretty sad. I don't know about y'all, but I believe it's pretty sad. And I know the pitchforks is going to come out. Hang them. I know the pitchforks is going to come out. It's totally fine. But one thing that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to take it upon myself to exact anyone else's vengeance or to do anything. I just set the play up. I just set it up. You pull the trigger. If you want to have it done, we can get it done. It's just that simple. So, mercy, right? Mercy. And my thing is this, right? I'm glad and I'm happy because now we have an opportunity for the Father to take root and to actually take control of the situation. Honestly, I believe that he will bless the decision to be merciful, right? But sometimes when the Father gives you an opportunity to strike, you take your opportunity. You take your chance to strike. Sometimes he will use you as that weapon, as that blade, as that vengeance. He would use you just as he used King David, just as he used many others, right? To be able to bring judgment. He will use you. You got to be willing to be used and not manipulated. You can't have people telling you, oh, well, the Father said vengeance is his and he shall repay, when he also told you and let you know that he's fashioned your hands for war, that he's designed you for battle. This is why he made you. This is the way he made you. He made you in these ways so you can be able to do so. So, what do? Why do we hold all the cards to be able to shut this thing down at a moment's notice in which they can't do anything effectively to shut down the truth in which we're speaking? They can't do anything about it. You know why? Because it's not slanderous. It's not backbiting. It's not falsified information with no tangible proof and evidence. It's none of that. It's people's testimonies. It's facts backed with truth, receipts that's being brought to you so you can make a sound decision on your own. If you're smart enough, if you're wise enough to receive the information, if you're smart enough, if you're wise enough to receive the knowledge, because like the Father said, those, right? Those saints, those individuals are destroyed for the lack of knowledge because they reject it. And therefore, the Most High Yah shall reject you. He shall reject you if you're not going to receive the knowledge. So all of this slandering and all of this things that you've done to put the brother Jordan Salami, our brother Jordan Salami, in a negative light, the things that you have done to try to pull him and try to manipulate the situation, to divide him from his wife, to be able to separate the two, to be able to take his wife and plant bugs in her ear to get her to trade on him. And also the things that you said about him being a fraud and being somebody who's stealing and embezzling funds and all this other stuff and smearing his reputation. all of those things, one thing you can lean on is that you still have a business and it's still in operations because he decided to allow you to. Think about that for a moment. The level of power to have the nuclear weapon in your hands to destroy, and you choose not to. The level of control it takes, the level of forgiveness, patience, mercy it takes. I think that you all over in Wisconsin should be thanking him. You guys should be thanking him that you still have a business that has the earning potential of over 6 figures, that you still have that. Not only that, that you've established it, that is actually there because he established it for you. I think you should thank him for that. I think you should thank him. And that it's still around right now. That it's still, you're still able to effectively do something with it because he didn't pull the trigger. And if you think I'm playing, if you think I'm lying, I will pull up the emails right now and I will show you the correspondence. I literally had to stop emailing them because I couldn't give them the information they were looking for. My hands are tied. I can't do it. I will show you. And they were on y'all too. They were on y'all heavy, boy. They wanted y'all. I'm trying to tell you, they were chomping at the bits for Wisconsin, for Royal Interiors. Oh man, they wanted them so bad for having that 13-year-old doing that job. It was dangerous too. They wanted them so bad. They almost start getting mad at me for not giving them what they wanted. They almost start getting upset with me. I can tell through their emails and what they were saying that they were kind of upset about me not giving them what they wanted to make the job easy, or giving them the clearance to move forward. You get what I'm saying? Because they would have moved forward without the information. It just took them a while to figure it out. They were upset. Oh man. But either way, I think that I'm almost about done with this. We're going to play this for a little bit longer. Let me jump off into the comment section with you guys. Oh, man. Because, yeah. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Man, I know, but we have to know. Let me see. Hard to tell the difference between Uncle Sam and Dowell. They both take your money and piss it away. Yeah. Yeah, just ask the widow. My goodness. Watchmen books are powerful. Hallelujah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to look it up and check it out for sure. I'll definitely do that. Okay, what else we got? Now is a high school bully on supplements and liquor and liquid courage. Yeah, I mean, the ones he know he can do it to, he does it. And I've identified that. He'll do it to you if you know he can. If you know he can and you're not gonna say nothing, he'll do it. Just like a lot of those leaders, if they know they can get away with abusing you or not taking you seriously, when you're disgruntled about something, or if you have some concerns about the way that they're handling themselves, if they know that they can be able to shit on you, they will shit on you, and it'll be the biggest load of shit that you've ever had in your life on you, literally on your head. You understand what I'm saying? Think about you taking the biggest dump that you've ever took, right? Because maybe it's been a few days, right? And you're irregular for a while. Think about that now. Now multiply it by 10. And these leaders in Straitway, that's what they do if they know that you ain't nothing to them. If you don't have no credibility in the ministry, if you don't have any weight, if you don't got no clout, if you're not somebody who's important in that ministry, then yeah, your biggest turd that you've ever laid times 10 that turd, and that's all on your head. I promise you. So don't say anything. If you want to be there for sure, keep your mouth zipped and shut no matter what's going on. Me personally, I ain't gonna be there because I talk too much, right? I'll blast somebody in a heartbeat. I'll call you out in a minute if I feel like that you on some bullshit. You get what I'm saying? And it's all in love. I want you to be better because I want to be better. I want a conducive atmosphere for the Holy Spirit. So that's the reason why I speak up on it. And I would expect my brother to do the same for me. Hey, bro, you know what I mean? Like, speaking up on if I'm not standing on truth or something like that, or if I'm BSing, or if I just lied about something. You know what I'm saying? Which I refrain from doing that at all costs, which is the lying. You get what I'm saying? Like, I refrain from doing that at all costs, right? But my thing is that calling it out. Yeah. You don't want to do that if you want to stay with this ministry. If you want to move up in the chains, you want to shut the hell up and you want to keep your head down, right? Just ask Gideon or ask Mirror. Oh, wait, ask Corey. No. Wait, hold on. Ask Fat Boy Ellis. Yeah. He'd probably be able to tell you about ass kissing all day. That guy right there, the Fat Boy Ellis, I promise you, he is probably one of the biggest brown nosers in this side of Tennessee. You understand what I'm saying? This side of the globe, or not of the globe, but of the earth. He's probably one of the biggest ass kissers. So if you talk to him, he can educate you fully and thoroughly on how to properly brown nose, right? And to be sure that you're thorough, right? Because, after you're done, you want to be sure that, things are clean. I can't help you with that. Like, I'm terrible at that. You understand what I'm saying? So I can't help you there, right? I can only help you be what they would consider to be, I guess, a troubler. You understand what I'm saying? But Ellis, if you love Straitway, you want to stay with Straitway, man, go talk to Ellis, man, the Fat Boy Hebrew. Go talk to him. He's going to teach you everything you need to know about how to properly suck out the poop chute. I promise you, he's going to give you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know will be right there in that one package. I just rewinded and saw the Jordan video. Sounds like some saints are snitching, LOL. Snitch game on point, right? I bet the feds will be knocking any moment. Listen, they're already there. I promise you now. Literally, they know it. They've been monitoring this situation. They've been keeping an eye on things, and they also probably already have plants in that ministry, right? That's feeding them information and intel. When you're trying to develop your own private army, okay, I promise you, you are on the FBI shit list. I guarantee you that. Okay. And Dowell is such an easy individual to infiltrate if he's not an agent of his himself. You understand what I'm saying? If he's not a CIA agent himself, he would be simple to infiltrate because he's ex-military. So he's going to receive ex-military individuals, right? He loves those guys. So they don't even have to show up as somebody who they not. They can just show up as who they are. Literally, and claim that they love the Father, the Most High, and all this other shit, and move up the chain, right? And then they can be placed in such levels that they will be over and heads over multiple different communities, right? In no time. You understand what I'm saying? Being instructors, right, and teaching people and teaching the saints how to shoot, gaining and earning trust from Dowell and the rest of the leadership. You understand what I'm saying? No matter what, right? And then not only that, being propelled and pushed forward, right? And being shouted out on live streams and saying, shout out to this individual. I'm just saying, like, it'll be so easy to infiltrate Straitway and be an undercover agent. This is the easiest work that you'd ever do as a CIA operative or FBI agent, right? You just show up as a military individual. You just show up, literally, right? It's free. Free for all in that situation. You military, he loves you because you're going to submit, you're going to do what you're told, blah, blah, blah. And as long as you do that, there's no pushback, okay? There's no pushback. There's nothing that you got to worry about, right? You get multiple lives, you get multiple wives, you get taken care of, you get put on this pedestal of respect and honor, integrity, blah, blah, blah. You get to show up to the meetings and, to the Goshen camps and be able to, sit there and pretend to be a drill instructor. You know what I mean? You get the opportunity to shout in people's face during Goshen, wearing pendants and all this other shit, right? You get plenty of opportunities to just do your thing, right? How simple is that? But the moment they give the signal to take this whole thing down, right? Or to take somebody out, man, listen, how simple is this? It's just almost too easy, right? It's too easy at this point. You understand what I'm saying? Book of Tibet, chapter 2:11. At that time, my wife Anna worked for hire at waving clothes, doing the kind of work women do. 12. When she delivered the material to her employers, they would pay her a wage. Hallelujah. Yeah. Tibet. Let's pull that up. That's a good scripture right there. And my thing is this, right? Which, here we are. Let's go ahead and go into here real quick, right? Let's go in here. Let's go ahead and shut this thing down. Because like I said, he had a lot to say, but he was saying a bunch of things that honestly he doesn't really back it. It's very situational for him. I totally understand if Dowell wants his wives to be chase keepers at home and don't do anything to work. That's totally fine. I don't knock you for it, bro. But when men have to make a decision, right, that they don't really want to make, to have their wives go out here and go into a 9-to-5 or go into a workforce, if it has to be done, there's no reason why you should be trying to shit on them for making that decision. You're completely detached from reality. Do you understand the price of bread, Dowell? Do you know the price? Well, maybe you do. Well, do you know the price of milk, of eggs, of all these other things? Do you know the price of an electric bill? Literally, bro, I got a $200-300 electric bill. One household, single household. Do you understand the price of an electric bill? Do you understand the price of rent nowadays? The basic rent nowadays for you to live into a place for you to live in a place that is healthy, that air is pure, air is clean, without molded ventilation shafts. Listen, you're paying upwards to anything between $1,800 to $2,200 a month. And this is for a 2 or 3 bedroom. This is what you're paying now. A lot of people don't have the luxury of having RG Stair buy them a home. Daddy Stair bought you your land, built he built on your land, was the first one to really fund the building of that tabernacle that you got down there. Nobody has the luxury of having Daddy Stair buy them land. I'm sorry. And then have Sugar Baby Kabir come along and also provide even more land and resources to you. We don't all have that same luxury, Dowell. You understand what I'm saying? Because you the one who have ex-NFL superstars building you mansions, providing you resources. We don't all have the same ability, and we don't have the same connections. You got to have a level of understanding and supporting the men who have to make a really tough decision to get their women out here working. Because you got literally millionaires talking like this.
I just want to let Pastor Pat, I love you. You gave me life. You gave me life. You gave me life.
And in that life, what is he giving to you? Since you're his God, since you're his Elohim, since you're his master, his Lord and his Savior, since you saved him and gave him life, and you have no compassion, no understanding of the men who aren't living on your compound or any of the various compounds that you own, because your foundation owns them, right? They don't have the same luxuries. But effectively, you shit on the very men that's a part of your ministry. And the moment that they fail, if something happens to where they have a hiccup or problem, is the moment you're going to take the biggest load of shit on them that you possibly can take. It's sad. It's sad, y'all. It's sad. Come on. I'm just being real. I'm just going to be completely honest, right? Because there's nothing we can do, man. Shout out to brother Jordan. I didn't know you was in here. Bless you, my brother. Good to see you in here. Jabber gives. Yeah. Kabir gives down $6,000 per month. That is insane. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Welcome in, man. Good to see you in the chat. light-skinned brother from Georgia. Name is Adam. So Adam from Georgia effectively ignores everything, right? But my thing is this, right? I wouldn't expect anything less. Why would I want to ask those types of questions? I mean, honestly, as articulate as you are, Adam, you sound like an idiot. You sound like somebody who's extremely idiotic. And honestly, it's not an idiot is not a real insult, right? It's the lack of knowledge, not the lack of intellect. So I'm not calling you stupid, Adam. I'm just saying, like you're a bit of an idiot, bro. You're not really taking in consideration every angle, right? But let you be in that position. I believe that you probably take it worse, right? I believe you would. And effectively, you are a good little boy. You know, I've seen you in the dining hall, right? While, people were doing what they do. I've seen you in the dining hall. You're a good, submitted little boy. Adam's a good little boy. You got to understand this guy here, right? He's totally and fully submitted to leadership over in Straitway. There's nothing that he would not do. Honestly, tell you the truth. I mean, honestly, while he sat there, right? I'm talking trash with Pastor or with not Pastor, with Muir, with Daniel Muir, because honestly, that's what we've always done. He and I. Daniel Muir and I, since the day that I met him, we talk shit. You understand what I'm saying? This is what we did. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not above just talking shit with anybody, shooting this shit. This is what men do. We just talk shit sometimes. You know what I mean? We just back and forth it, right? So this is what we're doing. He and I, myself and Muir, we're talking shit to each other. Boom, boom, boom. Adam just so happened to be sitting right next to me. And man, was he such a good little boy. Was he so well behaved? You understand what I'm saying? In fact, he was offended by the fact that I was actually engaging in a normal behavior that I typically would do with Daniel Muir. You know what I mean? He seemed offended. Maybe he wasn't, but he definitely thought that I probably shouldn't have been doing what I was doing, in which I didn't give a shit. I mean, my thing is this, right? You're a human, you're a man, just like I'm a man. I could care less, right? But you got to know, this is the reason why they said I've been put out of several different communities or fellowships or whatever. You know what I mean? Because I really, truly don't I don't care who you are. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Your position, status, or whatever. It's all good and all. And I'll still show you levels of respect and honor. But the moment that I see something, listen, I'll hold you accountable just like anybody else, right? Sometimes it may take me a little bit of time, but still, I'll still hold you accountable. I just see it as being fair. Like, if I'll call out this guy because he's just my brother, right? He might be some grunt. He may not even be somebody in a position of leadership, but somebody who's in leadership does the same thing he just did. But I don't say shit to this guy. You know how much of a bitch that makes me look like? Like, it makes me look like a real coward. Like, it makes me look like a real hypocrite that I'm willing to call out this guy because he has no clout. Like, he has no position of authority. But this guy over here, who's supposed to be a leader, is doing whatever he's doing, right? And I don't say shit. Like, come on, man. That's a real strike to your character. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you gotta feel like shit after that. Absolute trash after that, right? But my thing is that, maybe you should operate differently. I mean, maybe you shouldn't think like me. Maybe you should think like Adam, who's a good little boy, right? And I'm pretty sure he's a respectable guy, young man, right? So I'm not trying to go too hard on him. I'm just going based on what I've observed, right? And honestly, he's not the ops to me, right? He's just a guy who is submitted and fully submitted to authority. He do whatever it costs, whatever it takes. And obviously, Dowell says it's not a bad thing. And since Daddy Dowell says it's not a bad thing to submit to somebody, even though they may be doing wickedness, even though they were, found to be unrighteous, right? It's not a bad thing. It's no weakness in submission. You know what I mean? Like, even though that I want to take your wife effectively, I want to separate you from your wife. And even though that I've just called a man from Australia, right, a complete Abraham, a complete liar. I called him a liar, right? But he had tangible proof and evidence and receipts that you said what you said, and effectively Dowell could not come back and rebut it, right? He couldn't come back with receipts. proving that he did something honorable in that situation. No, you're complete trash. You're a POS. You literally were trying to take this man's wife from him. And then not only that, you're on your blog talk, you're on your live stream, encouraging the women to leave their husbands for nothing. Like, how much worse can it get? Let's go ahead, man. We pretty soon we're gonna land this plane, okay? But I want to address this real quick. Let me go. I'm still in the chat. We're gonna land this plane here very soon, y'all. Kabir must be getting dry on the phones. Yeah, $6,000 a month is crazy, right? So that's $8,000 a month. He's still crying about not having money. He's still crying about being broke, right? He's still grifting the people, telling them they're going to pay for his Africa trips, so he can go evangelize. You know what I mean? Really, what he wants to do, he wants to hang out with Kabir. He wants to hang out with the other guy. Who's Kabir's homie that goes over to Africa with him? He wants to hang out with them in Africa, right? Because they over there clapping cheeks. They over there beating buns. They over there clapping cheeks over there out in Africa. And he wants to go out there and have a bit of fun too, right? Because, I mean, it ain't fun unless we all can get some. You know what I mean? Like, so of course Dowell wants to go over to Africa and evangelize, I mean, why wouldn't he? You know what I mean? Like, damn, they're effectively going over there and they're knocking them down. Like, you know what I mean? They got buns to clap in Africa. They got duties and conjugal rights in Africa that needs to be handled. Like, why wouldn't he want the saints to pay for the evangelism? Being able to go over there and fulfill his conjugal rights with somebody he meets in Africa, potentially, right? I mean, why not? The saints should afford him the right and the ability to go over there and knock him down. So let's just be honest. Let's be real. I mean, yes, it's his duty. It's his right. They want him to do this. They want him to evangelize and be effective, right? Show the people, Dow. Show the people, Kabir. Show the people, what's the other guy's name? CJ or whatever his name is. Show these individuals in Africa how a true polygamist rolls. You understand what I'm saying? How to truly take care of some conjugal rights in Africa, right? And fly out and fly back in and do your thing. Like, just goddamn do it. And then not only that, let the saints fund this. Let the saints fund it. Like, come on, guys. Like, they already doing what they're supposed to do. Okay. So yeah, we know what you guys are up to. Like, you don't gotta hide it anymore. Just be honest. Come out and do on one of your sermons and say, listen, I got buns to clap in Africa. I need you guys to fund this for me, yeah. Because listen, I can't be a pastor who doesn't fulfill conjugal rights. Or I can't be an elder who doesn't fulfill conjugal rights. I just can't be that. I gotta go and get them cheeks, man. I gotta get them cheeks. Just keep it real. And I believe that you get more respect than just trying to grift them and force them to pay for something that they probably don't want nothing to do with, whatever you're talking about. You understand what I'm saying? How much Blue Label did Kabir give down a year? Give Dow per year. How much Blue Label did Kabir give Dow per year? Man, listen, I'm sure he gifted him plenty. 40 bottles a year. This is crazy. That's $200 plus, right? About $200 bottles, right? 200, something like that. It's either $200 or $400 bottles, something like that. 200, I believe, right? 200, 250, right? 200 to 250. It's crazy. Honeymoon phase wears off. Dow has then goes into conflict in competitive / combative mode. Yeah. And maybe it's out of boredom, brother Odell. Maybe that's out of boredom. Maybe he gets into combative and conflict and all of that stuff. But honestly, I don't think that we're the ones he should be playing with. I think he should go back to, going and running and hiding behind the paywall. Because, of course, when he was getting demolished out here on these YouTube streets, you notice that Dow would run behind the paywall every time. He'd just go run behind the paywall. You know what I mean? Save face behind the paywall, go and clean up, do whatever cleanup he needs to clean up behind the paywall. Now he's getting a little more bold, right? He's getting a little more bold, especially since this Mike and Karatazar thing has happened and taken place. He feels like that it's okay to rear his ugly head. You understand what I'm saying? He's getting real bold and boisterous, you know? And my thing is this. If Mike and Karatazar would shut the hell up, right? And they'll just fall in line and play the role that they're supposed to play, right? Because honestly, this is a chessboard. We have our pawns, we have our rooks, we have our knights, we have our bishops, we have our queen, we have our king. If they would just shut the hell up and just continue to be pawns, okay, and allow us to move them where they need to be moved, then I think that we wouldn't have such a bold and daring Dowell. You understand what I'm saying? Looking to make a comeback. I think that we would have somebody who would effectively understand what position they need to play and shutting the hell up and going behind the paywall and venting behind the paywall rather than bringing it to the platform. And so that's just it is what it is, you know. The rest of his minions would follow suit. Mir, Kabir, Corey, all the rest of these numbnuts. I mean, a lot of them are just idiots. You understand what I'm saying? But my thing is that they wouldn't be so courageous, you know, or bold enough to bring it out here. They just do a paywall thing. You know what I mean? Like paywall situation. For a minute, Fat Boy Ellis was on a real I don't know. He was trying to be consistent, right, in defense, but it just didn't hold up. I mean, he just got winded. And that's what happens when you're like Ellis. You know what I mean? That's what happens when you're Ellis. It's like shit just doesn't really be consistent. You know what I mean? It's just you don't have the stamina. You know what I mean? It's just like you didn't have the stamina to keep up with that. So you just kind of fall off a little bit. I'm curious what'll happen once he kicks the traces. He's definitely gonna talk bad about him. That is a lot. Boom, boom, boom. You know, I'm off in the comments. Shalom, shalom. Yeah, I just got done. Welcome in, Jim McClain. We just got done addressing the Karatazar situation, man, which is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy, man. Baptist Church was started in Amsterdam in like 1600s. Okay. Side conversation right there, I think. All right. The LLC is BFILT, Royal Interior and Royal Construction are just names as a DBA. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. So so them looking into Royal Interiors, that's the reason why they didn't find it. So that makes a lot of sense. Because it's actually BFILT is what it is. Oh, BFILT, BFITL, not BFILT. Okay, duly noted. Shout out to the brother over there. Really, I've never created a LinkedIn. They will reap what they sow. Absolutely. And they are reaping it currently right now as we speak. Construction contracting owner, Royal Interiors. Yes, sir. Did Kabir make it? Weird. I don't know how LinkedIn works. Okay, so it might be a side conversation. See what pastors were saying. Surprised the Saints haven't brought him a private jet yet. I mean, they obviously don't care. The only reason why they would not buy him a private jet, Sister Rose, is if they catch him smoking crack in the back of the tabernacle. So they gotta literally catch him smoking crack in the back of the tabernacle in order to say that he doesn't deserve a jet. Okay, so forget the widow who he effectively pressed for money, right? $105,000. Forget the widow who he pressed for money. Forget the many and vast amount of men he destroyed their marriages and tore them apart and tried to effectively take their wives and add them to his communities. Forget those individuals, right? Forget the individuals like Brother Abraham over in Australia, where he tried to coerce his wife to being rebellious toward him and argumentative and combative. The same things he speak against for women not to behave like, he encouraged and influenced that brother's wife to be it, right? Forget all of that, right? Forget the brother Jordan, where he's like literally saying that he would catch flight so he can catch hands with Jordan. You understand what I'm saying? But he wouldn't catch flight to be able to attend a funeral for this widow. You know, forget about that, right? Forget about a lot of these things that makes absolutely no sense. I mean, he'll fly in for sugar daddy, sugar baby Kabir, but he would never fly in order to preach a sermon for your loved one if they passed away. He doesn't have time for that petty nonsense, right? But if they have conflict over in Wisconsin, he will catch the first potential private jet, right? Maybe the Saints is going to provide the private jet so he can go ahead and catch flight for Muir, for Kabir, you know, just in case they need him to come in there and you know, effectively stump a mud hole in one of them brothers' asses, right? That's a good reason to have a private jet. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to buy an emergency plane ticket to go to Wisconsin to deal with a brother. But you can't go say a few kind words at a widow's you know, late husband's funeral, and you know, effectively she gave you $105,000. That didn't even motivate you to go and preach a sermon at her late husband's funeral. $105,000 didn't even motivate you to go and catch a flight to attend the funeral. That's crazy to me. Or at least talk about it on your blog talk, or, you know, speak about them in good lights. You even talk shit about the brother. Is this I believe it's the same brother that he talked real bad about, and they just didn't want to tell the sister what he was saying about the late husband, because it wasn't in the most positive light. Like, the brother was like ruthless, right? I'm just trying to make sense of a lot of this stuff, right? And you just got the wheels turning, Sister Rose. You got a way about doing that, sister, because you know what? You come up and bring valid points, honestly, to make anybody think. I got the wheels turning a little bit. You know what I mean? All right. Dowell hates the fact that I empowered the daughters of Zion. Yes, they need to be empowered. If they are not the weaker vessel, then what is it? You know what I mean? The weaker vessel has their opportunities to be empowered, right? Especially if they're doing well. If they're doing well, shouldn't you do things that may fuel them, right? To empower them, to make them feel good about themselves? Don't you support them in those ways? I mean, I see if you need them to, I guess, hold it down in the ways that they need to, and you're teaching them. I mean, it comes with a process. But the moment that they've learned, the moment that they've stepped up and they've shown themselves to be somebody who is the moment you can be able to give them some empowerment. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with empowering your woman. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You yourself need to be the judge as to when and how you empower your loved one, your woman, your beloved, your but you should never just leave her out the loop. Like, you should do everything you should be doing to support her in every way you possibly can. If you see that she's doing something, and honestly, as the word says, that you should serve one another, that she should not just be your servant, that you should also serve her, or the wives that you have taken on. You should be a servant to them too, just as Yeshua was a servant unto the disciples. He was a servant. He was just as well as a servant as they were a servant to him. You should be performing as a servant to her, right? And doing what's needed to support her in her accomplishments and what she's doing, especially if it makes sense. If it makes sense and the overall success is there, and you're going to see success from what she's doing, then why wouldn't you want to support that? I'm just saying, if she wants to say, hey, in order to help us out, I need to go hit this job for a little bit, and then we'll be good. We just need to do it for this. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You guys need to make the right decisions as men. You understand what I'm saying? As men, you need to make the sound decisions for your household, because don't let this man here, Dowell, don't let him tell you anything. Don't let him tell you nothing about it. You understand what I'm saying? You heard what he got done saying. He literally just got done bashing a lot of you men for making decisions for allowing your wife to work a 9 to 5. If it comes down to it, I promise you, you pull your wife off the job, let something happen to your one income. You got one income that's coming in for you. Let it happen to your one income. He's not going to be there for you. In fact, he's going to talk trash about you. He's going to shit on you pretty big for not handling your business. But he's the one encouraging and influence you to take your wife off the job. Make a sound choice and decision. Don't do it based on what this guy is saying, because he's not going to give a damn about you. He won't even catch a flight to a late husband's widow's funeral to preach a sermon. He can care less. If you're not Kabir, if you're not a money bag, he don't give a damn about what you got going on. He don't care about the price of tea that's in China. He don't care about a price of a loaf of bread that's going on. He don't care about what economy or economic hardships that you got going on. He's gonna laugh at you because you fell upon some hard times. He's gonna make jokes out of that, and he's gonna blast you openly. So just know it, okay? Just know it. And then remember it. When you go through it, remember that I told you he was going to do it. After encouraging you that you're not man enough unless you took your wife off the job. Even though a P31 is a woman who performs. It's for performance based. And that's Proverbs. That's not a letter from Paul, right? That's not a letter written by Paul from Paul. And just trying to teach that particular church or individual what a woman's like, right? Proverbs 31, right? Somebody who can consider a field and buy it with resources. She's wise enough to make those types of moves. She can make business decisions. You understand what I'm saying? But that's how they cherry pick. Yeah, you'll be a laughing stock if you listen to this guy. I promise you, because I know firsthand. Yeah. Come on. I can give you a testimony, and it's a firsthand witness testimony. I'm a firsthand account as to how you would be treated if you decide to take your wife off the job, and then the income that you have maybe takes a hit, and you're having to regather yourself. And you get shat on by this man, by Dowell. You understand what I'm saying? Then he shits on you. I'm a firsthand. I can give you a firsthand account, firsthand experience. I'm the one. And the only reason why I can tell you this and not be a Catholic because he shat on me. I did exactly what he encouraged. I took her off the job. We were doing great. Boom, boom, boom. Listen, I'm not telling you something that I don't know firsthand because I know it firsthand. Okay. All right, we're gonna be landing this plane here soon, y'all. I appreciate y'all joining me. Believe you me, I got receipts coming soon. Dowell is a whoremonger and he hangs out with whoremongers. Stay tuned. Yeah, I know you do. I'm looking forward to those receipts. I can believe that. Bless you, Mama Clay. Let's see. Has no concept of expensive. Like owning and operating a private jet. The price of the aircraft is just entrance fee. Yeah. You already know it. Yeah, he would be the man to tell you for sure. Elder Jim would definitely tell you the truth on that. But yeah, for sure. Yep. Pastor Rufus, you may want to give Florini and Rallo some MMA practice before Dowell is still a chicken. Man. Vic be on their head. You hear me? Brother Vic, man. I just be like, man, bro, Vic be on they rear end. I'm not gonna lie to you. Bless you, brother Vic. Yes, sir. Getting ready for the popcorn. I find it amazing how Adam, after almost 2 years, comes and says, I was under wicked spirit. I wasn't under wicked spirit when I was paying his rent. Was I? Shaking my head. Wow, that's crazy. Super sad. Yeah, I mean, My thing is that, there's ways to stay very neutral in situations, but after 2 years, you coming out saying, oh, wicked spirit this, wicked spirit that, who's this, who's that. Honestly, you're very biased in what you're talking about and communicating. And honestly, that's the spirit you're under. You're under a spirit of man worship, man pleasing. Not only that, completely and totally submitted, no matter what the individual is doing. So if the person is saying that, hey man, the sermons is getting cardinal, he's only talking about beefing with people, because that's what he was doing. He was talking about beef. Like he was beefing with everybody, anybody, and they mama, right? Until everybody started to come for him, and then he started to cower down and act like that he was just some humble servant. I'm just trying to serve the people. Just makes no sense, because you just recently you were grifting the following from Geno Jennings, right? And trying to steal some of his following, calling him an anti-Messiah bitch. And then next thing you know, here you are behaving like a bitch, Dowell. And it's like you cowered down and shut up, right? But when somebody gets on your ass like this, that's when you want to, you know what I mean? Take this moral high ground. It makes no sense to me, but whatever. I guess I'm still just trying to figure it out myself. Hey y'all, just got here, man. Welcome in, brother Mega. Good to see you in this joint, brother. Good to see you in this joint, bro. Barak, he's not smoking crack. He in back of the tabernacle. He is doing the crack in the back of the facts. He's actively snorting coke at the pulpit. Now I can't confirm that, y'all. So don't take it seriously. I can't confirm that. I'm just talking trash. But he probably practically is. I mean, he's doing it right there in front of y'all face. The dirt that he's doing it in front of your face. And what you want to see is he smoking crack? Is he smoking crack rock in the back of the tavern? That's sad. Let me see. All right. Young Boys Inc. All right. Yeah, we're gonna be landing this plane here soon, y'all. So let's go ahead and get prepared. Excellent podcast. Man, bless you, brother. Elder Jim McClain. Thank you so much. All right. I guess we should ask Nelly what takes place in the back of the tabernacle. She'd know firsthand. Oh shit. Pastor. Now, Pastor, that's a very interesting question. Can anybody we should really want to raise that and pose that as a real question. Like, Nelly, what happens in the back of the tabernacle, really? Like, it seems like it's all too familiar space for you. So I'm curious now. I think we all would like to know, right? I think we all would like to know. And, my thing is this, right? I want to leave off with a couple scriptures for, one from our beloved brother Peter and one that's coming out of Matthew. Let's go to Matthew. Let's go to Matthew 10:22, and we're going to go ahead and land the plane, because I think it's important for us to touch on these things, right? Let's go ahead and go over to Matthew 10:22. Boom. That's actually a very honest question that will never get answered, right? Matthew 10:22. All right. Okay. I appreciate you guys for your patience. Let me go ahead and pull this up. And like I said, we're going to land this plane and we're going to be good to go. All right. Share. Matthew 10:22. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Matthew 10:22. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Right? But when they persecute you in the cities, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. So, like, my thing is this, right? When we're seeing a lot of this take place, and we're seeing individuals getting brave or bold because the very people that should be on your side wants to turn and start to do what? Hate you. Even though you're trying to do the work, even though you're pursuing the work and shedding light on darkness, honestly, continue. Do not get weary in well doings. Pastor Rufus, Elder Jim McLean, Elder Chris Paul, Brother Jordan, a lot of you individuals who are currently still talking and speaking up about the wickedness. Listen, don't get weary in well doing. People who are lost in what they're doing, people who don't understand what they do and how they are not really, so the way that they're supposed to support, like Karatas are, and these individuals who are supposed to support in certain ways, and how they're trying to tongue lash you. Don't get weary in this. We know that this is what's supposed to take place. But listen, we also have individuals like Dowell who says that the scribes and Pharisees were only approached, right? And they held age to a high esteem, even though that Yeshua rebuked and reproved the fire out of them. You understand what I'm saying? Those are real insults that he told them back in those days. Real insults. Very, very real insults. Hard ones too. So my thing is this, y'all. We can make the excuses all day long. But the truth is that when it's time to be held accountable, I believe that accountability escapes no one, right? I believe accountability escapes no one. All right, we're going to go over to Peter 3:14 through 15. Let's go to Peter 3:14 through 15, y'all. Peter 3:14 through 15. 14 through 15. And if ye suffer the righteous sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. But sanctify the Elohim Yah in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of hope that is in you with meekness and fear. So be prepared to answer, prepared to give reason, be prepared for it, right? Man, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for joining me here in the Warsheep Podcast, man. I'm trying to tell you now, I want you guys to remember to hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. Don't forget to share this with whoever you can possibly share it with to get out the truth, to get out the word, right? Like, comment, and subscribe. My thing is this, right? Let me jump into the comment section here real quick, and then we're going to close this thing out. Yeah, Krasazar won't even weary. Come on now. Bless you well. Nellie was going up the hill late at night with Dowell while she was married to Eric. Asked Elder Mitchell. He's an eye/ear witness to it. Ooh-wee. Wow. Now, that right there is something that we're going to have to definitely talk about. Wow. You don't want drama. I guess we should ask Nelly. Takes place in the back. Yeah. But bless y'all. We're going to go ahead and close this thing out, man. Bless you. Let's go ahead and drop some ram and sheep in the chat, y'all. For all the righteous alpha men, for all the elegant women who's exceptional, drop some sheep and some ram in the chat, y'all, real quick. And we're going to close this thing out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. Holla back at your boy. I really appreciate you guys' time. Peace. Bless y'all. And shalom, shalom.